it sort of falls into this category a little bit of like everything is symbolic, everything is ceremonial, nothing is functional. I'm fascinated by these temples because it goes back to something you were saying earlier. And I use this analogy to kind of set the stage for it. Imagine if Younger Dryas happened to us tomorrow, whatever, right? Hope, touch wood, doesn't. But say it wipes out civilization, but we survive as humans. Within, 2-3 generations, we're sitting around campfires telling stories about fucking these things that were like a black rock, and it's just, and you know, it's like, or plasma TVs, but you say, look, if you get this shiny black rock, you know, you can get answers from the ancestors. You will know everything. You can talk to anything. You can see anything.
You can ask it questions.
You can ask it questions.
Yeah.
And maybe you go and you start getting black rocks and making them like this, and you start dancing around the fire. You start ritualizing this memory of technology. Now, if you take that concept, like say there's a cataclysm and now there's people that remember and they tell these stories, the stories get passed down. Now imagine there's a civilization that comes up and it goes through thousands of years of structuring those legends and stories of technology. That goes through just distortions and representations and symbolism, but it's just twisting all of these stories into this iconography and this complex symbolism that we then, I think we go to a temple in Egypt that was made in the Ptolemaic era or whatever, and you see things on the wall. And I think there's a great way to interpret some of those symbols and some of the paintings to say that, well, is this actually an echo of something that was functional, or is an echo of technology? Like every staff that you see has a tuning fork on the bottom of it. Every single one on these walls, it's always got a tuning fork on it. What's that all about?
Tuning fork.
Tuning fork, like a little like a tuning fork. Yeah, all of the staffs with the was head, that means power. Like literally the interpretation of this symbol is power on top of the staff, and every single one of them has a tuning fork on the bottom.
Can we see an image of that?
Yeah, you can look up any of the temples in Egypt and like the depictions of gods with staffs and they're touching, or they're giving like the Jed pillar, or the Ankh, which is Jed pillar is stability. The Ankh is life. The Was is power. So in a lot of cases, these gods are granting kings, life, stability, and power, or sometimes just life and power. But
what are those depictions of these enormous cylindrical things that they're holding that look almost like one of those
like a transformer?
Indian clubs? Yeah.
Like that one there, that's like the Jed pillar here.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
That's a great image. That literally is the symbol for stability.
Like
and
that thing down is what I was talking about.
Oh, the quote-unquote light bulbs, yes, at Dendera Temple. And see, there's a Jed pillar there too with the hands. So the Jed pillar is stabilizing it with its hands.
Right.
And you're on a boat. You're actually, part of this is on a boat.
It looks like some kind of technology.
So you know what's crazy about this? So again, we get down into this. This is in a crypt at Dendera. You have to like crawl through a hole and get. It's like an inside wall. It's amazing because the Christians and they didn't get into the crypt, so they couldn't deface the glyphs. Like a lot of the glyphs are defaced.
Look at that guy. He looks like an air traffic controller.
Well, he's like a reptilian too. He's a frog dude with knives.
Yeah, what is that dude?
With a tail.
Does he have a fucking tail?
Yeah, he does.
He does look like he looks like a giant frog man.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what's crazy about there is a whole story about this, and it's written on the walls. And again, this is thanks to my friend Yusuf Ayawan, who I guide with, and then Professor Jabra, who can interpret this. And I'm going to do a video about this soon, because what he is saying about this crypt is that it tells you on the wall that there was a physical version of that thing in that crypt. He said it was made from mostly gold, and it was the span of like a dude with his arms out, like the span of a human wingspan, basically.
I was stumbling across something. They called it Electrum. There was these two. There was
the metal.
Stole these 3.3 ton obelisk that were made out of a metal called Electrum.
Electrum,
which is like gold and
silver.
Yeah,
Electrum's gold. And so they definitely used gold and silver. A lot of the obelisks had Electrum tips, they think.
Great for conductivity.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, I mean,
which is really the only good reason to have it, other than looking good.
Right. Yeah.
Other than balling.
Other than balling, which they were balling. Like, trust me.
It's going to be a little bit of a sidetrack, but when you're talking about the nuclear stuff, I found these stories of the Oklo mine in Gabon, which is nuclear, natural nuclear
reactor.
Wow.
Whoa.
That is very
4
old.
billion years old and 100,000 worked.
And they
Oldest
pull out
nuclear reactor in history.
enriched uranium from it.
Oh, okay. It's
What?
enriching uranium. It's probably
Natural
Yeah.
enriched uranium.
yeah. Imagine if it's
Whoa.
It's in Africa, so I don't know if that was the only place they've ever found.
Mm, that makes sense, right? And
It's
then
in Africa.
is there something like that in Afghanistan where this stone came from?
oh the lapis lazuli and everything else.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I assume that I wouldn't be surprised if that sort of thing is happening somewhere in the massive uranium in Australia either, because that's like one of the world's biggest uranium deposits. I imagine if it's enough mass of I think it's uranium 238, and they're trying to get 235 to get to 238, or the other way around. But if there's enough mass and neutrons hitting each other, it might be enriching it somehow. I think that's probably what's happening there. I'm no nuclear scientist, so I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Let's go back to those hieroglyphs, Jamie.
Yeah.
The lizard guy, the frog guy, or whatever
Yeah.
that reptilian thing is, that freaks me out.
Oh yeah, it's the stuff of nightmares at times. It's kind of weird.
Because that's, one of the things that the weirdest, the weirdest stories when they start talking about aliens is the different types that visit.
Right.
And that one of them is a reptilian species that are the most creepy to deal with, which makes sense.
Heard the same thing. It would be. Yeah, I mean that
just
reptilian
like reptiles
brain.
on Earth.
Like chickens are assholes, you know?
Right, they are. And so are Komodo dragons. And the idea that somehow or another they could eventually reach incredible levels of technological sophistication and intelligence. We kind of rule that out. But look, there's clearly primates that are way dumber than us, right?
Oh, for sure.
So why do we assume that it's only primates that reach an incredible high level of sophistication when we know that crows, which are really fucking close to dinosaurs, crows, super smart, like smarter than most kids.
Yeah, problem solving smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I don't think you can't put a restrictor on what evolution might produce.
Not at
in
all.
any of these,
especially when intelligence is being exhibited by things that are really close evolutionarily to reptiles.
Yes. Yeah, and that would just be, you get to that, like, just lack of empathy, just that reptilian brain.
Right.
It's just aggression, and, like, everything that's not us is the enemy kind
That's
of deal.
the mindfuck is smart dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was in Jurassic Park, right? The raptors, they were
Clever
super
girl.
smart. Yeah, they were smart,
Yeah.
which, makes sense.
Yeah, it's that whole pack, the instinct.
But the idea that we were visited by intelligent reptiles is fucking bananas.
Yeah, with the aliens, I don't often address it. But I put it firmly in the realm of like possible. Like it's just I think when you look at the vastness of space and the length of time, the fact that we're just this crazy. There could have massive civilizations galactically could have risen and fallen a million years ago, and we just weren't part of it. And that's literally a blink of the eye in those sort of time frames. It's not surprising. This is the Fermi paradox, right? Like, how come we haven't got like firm proof or anything, even though people will say we have? But it's like, yes, it's the length of time. Like, we can rise and fall. That span of a million years is just nothing on those time scales. And whole species can rise to massive prominence and then just be nothing but dust at the end of that period of time. Yes. And you got to try and do that across 14 billion years, and even that's in question now because the James Webb Telescope's seeing stuff that's supposedly way older than that now.
Right.
I mean, we'll see. We're going to find out. Like this 3-Eye Atlas thing.
Yeah, what is that thing?
Super weird, right?
Well, Avi Loeb is convinced that it's a UFO, but that's what he does.
Yeah,
right. He did with that other one, Oumuamua. So that one was a little odd.
That was weird. So it wasn't the weirdest thing about Oumuamua seems to be its path after it turned around the sun and accelerated. Like that was the standard model of physics said it shouldn't have done that, and it seems to have exhibited sort of motion that was not what we predicted it would do. That's as much as we can.
Acceleration.
It accelerated. It was outside.
Noticeable.
Yeah, it accelerated.
But like to a factor of what?
Well, not that. I think it was only a few %, but it was not what should have happened according to the calculations that astronomers and the orbital dynamics people had done. That's what I understand was the most. Obviously, its shape and size. It was
there was
tumbling.
Something about its reflective properties as well, right?
Well, I mean, just because it was so long and narrow and it was tumbling, that's what caused it to. We would catch like the long side of it, which the brightness would increase. So we had this oscillating brightness on it, and then it passed through the system, and it's going, 87 kilometers per second or whatever it was, huge velocity, enough to escape the gravity of the sun, but it accelerated where that's what I understand it did. It accelerated where it shouldn't have. Then there was another interstellar artifact that came in that was pretty much a comet. It behaved like a comet. It had a tail. It was off-gassing water. It's just an interstellar ball of rock and ice is what they say that was. That didn't get a lot of attention. Now this 3I Atlas thing is much larger. It's traveling much faster, apparently, than the previous two, but it's also not behaving like a comet. It has this aura of light that it's emitting around it for some reason. I saw a report that said they're almost seeing a metallic, like, smelting signatures off it. I don't know how much credence I can give it, but we'll find out. Like, it's going too fast to stop in our system unless it dramatically alters its velocity. But it'll pop out. We'll lose it on the other side of the sun, but then we should see it again on the way out. So we'll know one way or the other if it actually is going to, if it changes behavior. I mean, what's he put it? Avi Loeb put it like 40-60 or something. Artificial to natural, but
really,
dude, it's so funny. I'm into Warhammer 40k in a big way, and it's just like I'm like, okay, we're going to be joining the Imperium here soon, boys. So, all hail the Omnissiah. That thing might be a Mechanicus vessel. I don't know.
If that's how they travel, I'd be very disappointed. They just shoot through the sky. Well, it takes months.
Well, if it slows down,
I know, but I'm looking for portals. I'm looking for, advanced civilization that visits us. I don't want the advanced Vikings. Right. I want the advanced scientists from the 21st century.
Open up the portal.
Yeah. I you know what I'm saying? I mean, the ones who come fast on a burning spaceship, they're the dangerous ones. Because they're probably
right.
Yeah, they're probably the warlike conquerors, the ones who are going to rob us of our minerals and force us into slavery. You know what I mean? That seems like if that's how you're rocking it, you're still doing it the way we do it, where you have something thrusting you insanely fast through the cosmos.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Do you know that, like, the whole dark forest thing, like the dark forest theory?
No, what's that?
So this came out of, it was the three-body problem. Great series of books by a Chinese author got turned into a
amazing
TV show.
Netflix show.
Great show. The books are phenomenal too, and it's just, but it's this idea that, look, we shouldn't be making noise. It's like, imagine you're a hunter in a dark forest. So it's just, you're out there. You know there might be other things out there, and it's this like a philosophical engagement of, like, what should you do? Should you light a fire and make a whole bunch of noise in the dark forest that's full of it's full of predators. You don't know where they are. They don't know where you are. What's your behavior? What should you do? Should you see another predator? Should you be friendly? What's the risk to you to do it? And these could be like, you could be there with a bow and arrow. This guy could have a tank. This other guy could have some other energy weapon, whatever. You don't. There's massive differences in capability and scale, and pretty much every scenario works out to, like, what you should do is just be quiet, and if you see something, you should eliminate the threat. That's kind of the way it goes in the dark forest. It's like, it's too risky to reveal yourself. You should basically eliminate that threat if you can do so safely. And you apply that to kind of the galaxy, and to some extent, I feel like we're the equivalent of, like, a baby in a cot that's screaming around a roaring fire, because and there's, leopards out there,
right?
And because we're just, like, sending these signals out into space for 100-something years now. Well, and we just hope, hey, we're friendly, please.
Well, you have to hope that something is so evolved that it's gotten past war, and it's gotten past the way we behave. And so we're hoping and assuming that Space Brothers, Space Brothers will be benevolent and wise beyond our imagination, and that they will come here and want to take care of us and give us information and hook us up.
That's my response. I have this discussion. I've had this discussion a few times, and my response to a lot of that is, well, we can take nature. What happens when we take nature? Let's look at the apex predator, whether it's in the sea, in the air, or on the land. Apex predators don't tolerate competition. They don't suffer any attacks. They don't. I mean, we just dominate. Like, if it's in your way, it's inconvenient, you kill it. If it has something you want, we take it. If those bees have honey, we take it. Like, it's just, we're not, like, helping them. We're not like trying to teach the dolphins how to talk. Like, there's still parts of the world where we're just eating them. Like, I don't know. Nature suggests that apex predator, but maybe we're just, I think this is the other element that you're saying, is maybe evolution leads you past those primal nature at some point.
The territorial primate instincts that we exhibit, like hopefully one day, because clearly we're on a pathway to that, right?
Yeah.
We're clearly much kinder now,
Yeah.
at least locally. You know, if you don't live in Gaza. You
Well,
know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
right. Yeah,
like,
I
you know what I'm
do,
saying?
yeah.
Like, if you're in the middle of a war zone, you're like, what are you talking about? This is as bad as it's ever been all throughout human history. It's the same behavior exhibited over and over and over again.
Yeah.
What we want is aliens that are 1,000,000 years more advanced. We don't want aliens that are 1,000 years more advanced.
Got it.
Because they might be just like us, but way better.
Yeah, just
That's
better
what we
guns.
don't, right? Because as soon as we start going into the cosmos, if we venture into the cosmos in 20 years, we're going to be the same animal. Right? We're not going to be significantly different unless we integrate with technology and remove the ego and
emotions.
all the other, mushrooms.
Yeah. Well, no, emotions and stuff, but maybe mushrooms helps us get
that
there
too.
for sure.
Emotions, all the things, the human reward systems that exist that we, we currently struggle with, we would be the same way. If we just think of what we justify on Earth in terms of destruction of habitat, of native species, animals that we kill, all the different things that we do on Earth, factory farming. Now imagine, why would we care about these lizard people that live, in caves on some fucking stupid planet? We would probably kidnap them, we'd kill them, we'd pickle them, we'd bring them back home, we'd freeze them.
Got gold in them caves? What have we got?
Right. Look at what Columbus did when they, arrived and took the natives and had them get gold, and if they didn't, they cut their arms off.
Yeah.
Horrific, terrifying things. So imagine, there's no evidence that aliens are currently doing that, which is the promising thing. Right? Even the abductions, although I'm sure they're terrifying if they're true, they seem rather benign. Like, in fact, in the Travis Walton case, do you know that one? It's one of the most famous ones.
Not off the top of my head.
Real simple, 1970s, he's a logger. He's working with a group of guys. They see a ship. He runs toward it. He gets hit with a beam of energy, gets knocked back, unconscious. His friends flee. They come back. They're yelling at each other. We got to go back. We got to get him. They go back. He's gone. All four of them get investigated for murder. They tell the story.
Yeah.
No one believes them. They all pass polygraph tests. 5 days later, he shows up. He finds a payphone, makes a phone call, and has this fucking insane story.
Yeah.
But the story was that they took him aboard the craft and healed him and communicated with him, and that there was a bunch of different types of these beings. And then he has been telling the exact same story ever since the 1970s. So, but relatively benign compared to what we would do.
For sure.
Like we fucking, we shoot elephants.
It turns into Avatar.
Yeah, think about the horrible